The Cincinnati Bengals have not topped 7 wins since 2015. Under head coach Zach Taylor, they've been 6-25-1 in 2 years, but things should start to get better for the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, to me, looks like a franchise quarterback. It depends if he gets competent blocking in front of him. We'll see how that goes, of course, but he does have good weapons at his disposal. Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, of course, and Tyler Boyd. And their defense, while it's not that great, I feel like has a chance to be somewhat decent, kind of like the Panthers last video. I said they were sneaky good. I feel like the Bengals may not be good, but I feel like their defense can be closer to average than being absolutely terrible. I'm not expecting the playoffs for this team in 2021, but I think by 2022 it is possible if they build this thing the right way. Of course, the Ravens and Browns in their division have really good rosters. They should be good football teams. The Steelers are coming off a 12-win season. Yes, they're probably declining, but probably still better than the Bengals at the moment. But if they continue to build this thing in the right way, I like the direction they're going in right now. The Bengals in a year or two have a chance to be a good football team, so we'll see how it goes. So with that said, here are my 3 expectations for the Bengals in 2021. Number 1 for me is Joe Burrow greatly improves his deep ball numbers. So last year, according to PFF, he was 9 for 48, which is an 18.8 completion percentage on passes beyond 20 yards. And that's not very good. I think we all know that. Now, his deep ball numbers were so underwhelming last year that it was kind of in the neighborhood of names like Carson Wentz and Mike Glennon and Jared Goff. You can't really have that if you want Joe Burrow to be a franchise quarterback, but based on what I saw at LSU, I think Joe Burrow is way too accurate to be a bad downfield passer. Do I think the guy has the strongest arm in the league? No, I don't think Joe Burrow even has a top 10 arm in the NFL, but he can still be a good passer downfield based on what we saw in college. I think maybe the Bengals last year had this belief, and of course it was flawed, that AJ Green was going to be that guy, but AJ Green did not look anywhere near his old self. He looked like half the player he used to be, so that downfield threat was not happening for him. And I do remember back in week 1 or week 2, very early on, I think it was week 1, Joe Burrow missed AJ Green for a wide open touchdown on a deep ball, but there were many other times during the season when AJ Green and Joe Burrow could not connect on their deep passes, so that definitely could have influenced why his numbers look so bad. And let's be honest, there was probably no chemistry between Burrow and his receivers. I mean, of course, there was no preseason last year. It was a very weird offseason, so to come in right away and expect to hit the ground running as a deep ball passer, it's not the easiest thing to do for a rookie last year. I mean, I know Justin Herbert did it, but still, it's not easy, and I definitely will give him a pass for 1 year, but I think having that chemistry with a deep ball matters. I mean, sometimes it matters more on like those timing routes and just guys coming out of their breaks, but even on a deep ball, I think knowing how fast guys are and where they like it and things like that, that's important. So I do expect that to be better in year number 2 for him. And of course, it depends on the offensive line. Can the Bengals offensive line give him enough time to even get the ball off deep? We'll find out about that. But I do think Burrow, if he has clean pockets, will be a better deep ball passer in 2021. Number 2 is they have a top half secondary in the league, top 16, top 15, whatever you want to call it, technically top 16, but over the past couple years, the Bengals have been making an effort to really improve their secondary. Of course, the days of William Jackson are over. He left for Washington. No more Pac-Man Jones for a few years. No more Dre Kirkpatrick, who went to the Cardinals last year. But still, this team has Jesse Bates, who may be a top 3, top 5 safety in the NFL. Von Bell came over from the Saints last year, had a pretty decent year for the Bengals. Trey Waynes missed the entire year last year. Chidobe Awuzie from the Cowboys, who's had some pretty decent seasons, had his worst year last year, so we'll find out what he does. Ricardo Allen, the former Falcon, can play some safety for them. They signed Mike Hilton from Pittsburgh, which could be a very underrated signing, can play some slot corner for them. And Eli Apple, an old friend of mine from the Giants. Not really, but yeah, maybe Eli Apple somehow lives up to his old potential. We'll find out, but I'm not expecting that. Now, it's probably not going to be the best secondary in football, but you look at their starters, and it's really not that bad. If you have Chidobe Awuzie, who comes over once again from the Cowboys, Trey Waynes, who had a nice career with the Vikings, and you have that safety duo of Von Bell and Jesse Bates, it's not that bad. I think there are secondaries that are worse, and I feel like the talent there isn't too bad. So if they put it all together, I think there's a chance this team could be good. Awuzie is still just 26 years old, once again coming off his worst season, so I think there is some potential here for this Bengals secondary. And while I'm on their defense, I want to include I think Tyler Shelvin, their defensive tackle, nose tackle out of LSU, is going to be a good player for them. I don't know if he's going to see the field that much, but as a run stopper, I definitely can see Tyler Shelvin being a useful player for the Bengals. And number 3, this one may be the biggest stretch or biggest reach out of all of them, but Jonah Williams solidifies himself as a top 10 left tackle in the NFL. So Williams was once the 11th overall pick of the Bengals in 2019, missed his entire rookie season, I believe, with a torn bicep, I'm pretty sure it was. Now, he missed 6 games last year as well. He missed the final 4 with a knee injury, missed 2 games earlier with like a stinger, I believe. So the guy needs to stay healthy, of course, needs to be on the field, but I do like his talent a lot. I loved him coming out of Alabama. The one knock on him was the short arms, but I feel like as long as he can get over that, he'll be fine. His technique is great. His feet are great. The guy can get out in space. So I feel like a healthy season of Jonah Williams, which of course the guy has to be on the field, I feel like he can be a top 10 left tackle in football. He allowed 3 sacks in 10 games last year, which isn't that bad. He earned a PFF grade of 70.1, which was 36th of all tackles that played at least 10 games. So that's left tackles and right tackles. He ranked 36. Not too bad, honestly. And we saw Garrett Bowles, the left tackle for the Broncos, come in year 4 and be one of the better left tackles in football. So why not Jonah? I feel like Jonah was a better prospect coming out, so why not you, Jonah Williams? Why not you? So I think Jonah can do it. Hopefully for his sake and for the Bengals fans out there, he does it. But the most important part is staying on the football field, and we'll find out if he can do that. And I will say this, it's definitely pretty obvious because tackle is a very important position in the NFL. But if Riley Reif and Jonah Williams can play at a pretty high level, this offense can do things. I don't know how good they'll be, but they'll definitely be at least league average at the worst. I feel like Joe Burrow is good enough, and you have the weapons once again. And if this offensive line can hold up with Reif and Jonah Williams, their interior is not the best in the world, but if your tackles are good, most times your offensive line will be competent. It should be fine. It's going to be good enough. So if Jonah Williams and Riley Reif can hold it down, I feel good about the Bengals offense as a whole in 2021. So that'll do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe if you did. Next video, we have the Chicago Bears. I actually went out of order because I can't do my ABCs, of course. So Chicago Bears up next. Then we have the Browns after the Cowboys. We'll keep going down the list. Get to every team. If you missed my previous videos and you're interested, go ahead and check them out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time.